Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Colin Ulrich.
And I'm Ringru. Hello, hello, hello.
And you might be looking at this and saying, guys, this looks very strange. Where's my SD2 HUD and everything? And that's right. We're back in SD44. We have a great couple of replays set up for you, Rang. What are we going to be seeing here, and why the heck are we back on the Western Front?
So on left-hand side in blue, we have a hairyspider playing 101st Airborne. And on the right-hand side, we have ONeill playing the 16th Luftwaffe Field Division. We have some replays from the SD44 New Year's tournament, which started on January 1st. And I thought it'd be fun to change things up a bit and get some SD44 coverage in, because it's been a while since we casted this, and SD44 is still a banging game, so it should be great fun.
That's certainly the hope. I mean, we are on Carpiquet, and I mean, it's kind of funny to have two airborne divisions on what essentially is an airfield map.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, how is that going to look for us? I know you and I were talking a little bit off air before the match really got started. What should we be expecting to go on?
These are both very fun divisions to route 101st Airborne with the very quality infantry. They're definitely going to outclass ONeill, but ONeill's, like, the Luftwaffe infantry isn't too terrible, even though they are disheartened. You don't have to be, like, entirely for the cause, throw satchel charges or gebated Lundungs, I can't say it properly. So, I don't know, I've seen 16 been piloted pretty well a few times before, but right now it's going pretty good for hairyspider. He's gone into some pretty good defensive position. He has a 60mm mortar just pounding the town, and yeah.
Indeed, indeed. So yeah, guys, just as a quick reminder, of course, since this is SD44, remember SD2 gave us the ability to get rid of the ribbon over here, so just a heads up, you are not missing something. That is exactly the reason that was still there from a systems perspective. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the unit insignia. Otherwise, you would see, like, on me, just fireballs going every which direction, which is great when you're Michael Bay, but horrible when you're trying to cast from our level up here.
Yeah.
But yes, so you know, 16th Luftwaffe for me is so much fun because we have such, like, strange stuff. Like we have the Panzer Bren carriers with the flak Panzer Brens, which again, you mount a 20mm or in some cases a 47mm on the back, based on some, you know, rinky-dink tracked vehicles. It's a technical, and it is technically quite deadly.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they're not, like, bad. Like, a very, like, Luftwaffe has some pretty good cheap vehicles like that, including the... I quite like the Hotchkiss machine gun carrier thing. That thing's not terrible for the price for, like, a decent-ish heavy machine gun. But I think of ONeill, he's definitely have to rely a bit more on indirect fire support, and just fire support in general to really make any progress. As we can see here, his initial push into the town didn't go that great. He lost a lot of his infantry as hairyspider just got some very good ambush on the Luftwaffe infantry. I do like how we do have one Luftwaffe Jäger down south, which did manage to get a good flanking position.
Well, he's got shots up, and if he takes out the... Oh, man, he had a moment to take out those AB rifles. If he could have done that, that would have been more than enough. Now, quick reminder, you guys might also asking, again, how the heck do we determine the winner here? You can see over here, this is based on map control. So gone are the days where you can't hold flags. This is all about just getting that raw territory.
Yeah.
And you can see right now that really hairyspider is pulling in a +2. I think, was it 57% is the cutoff?
58.
58, thank you.
Yeah.
But as long as it stays below 65, I would say that ONeill has a very, very good chance of coming back into this.
Yeah, I mean, he just lost a lot of territory up north here, and he is going to be bringing up infantry squad to try and shore it up. But yeah, he should be able to just bring it back down to a +1, which makes things much more manageable. But yeah, it's just not going all that well so far for A phase ONeill. He is getting some more infantry into the town, and he has to use his flank Panzer Bren to great effect to give some fire support, even flanking the Luftwaffe Jägers, which are behind enemy line, but probably not for long. They've started to take some fire.
Well, as a quick reminder as well, so disheartened troops again, 25% more suppression. You know, I mean, Ryan, you were commenting to me before that being disheartened in SD44 wasn't quite as deadly as it is in SD2. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
I just found, like, especially us at troop in SD44, they have some best infantry, of course, but they're very good at holding positions, because that dishearten trait does actually come as a bit of a benefit as they get pinned down faster, and when you pin down, you like, usually take less damage. So really, as Luftwaffe infantry, they're very good at, they're decent at holding position for their price, of course, and you do get a decent amount of them in terms of availability. So it does, you can make it work. You just there are a lot of anvil and not much hammer. That's the problem.
Sound definitely accurate. Forgive me, I had a bout of nostalgia. I was going to think to myself, Rang, you know, do you remember the day that you messaged me and said, "Hey, crazy American, you want to do a cast together?" This is bringing back actually a bout of just pure nostalgia for me as we go to the +3. Harry Spider's got that. Ago. Yeah, it was. It's kind of crazy to me, but yeah. Looking at this over here in the meantime, one thing we kind of have to recognize too is that the 16th Luftwaffe, and this was a major drawback to them, had very minimal vehicles other than the light kind of Brens and so on and so forth, and anything really besides B and further forward. So if you guys remember, and really the 101st is kind of like this too, wasn't a whole lot of armored vehicles, and it's going to be just a wee bit longer before we see even a Stug over here on the 16th side.
Yeah, once you get into B phase, it does get crazy for them because they get a 150 point income in B phase. So I think that's really what ONeill is going to have to really bet his cards on in terms of taking the victory here. He's getting some anti-aircraft units, got a flak villain up north, and I mean, you really do have to rely on those anti-aircraft units pretty heavily at 16th, which is great against a division such as 101st, where you can shoot down all their bloody airplanes, but also great fire support against a bunch of infantry that get close to you.
That's certainly true, and actually it's probably a good thing they don't have really much in the way of vehicle firepower, because the 57mm may be way more than enough to penetrate pretty much anything the 16th can bring to the field.
Yeah, it's just really stuck on their end, the heaviest armor piece. Yo, yeah, Harry Spider's getting lovely territory advances. He's got the hangars in the center part of the map. Up north, he's getting in a better defensive position, even with a 57. I was almost called it a 6-pounder cannon, but a 57mm M1 cannon.
I was going to say you respect my Americanism in this division, sir. But this Opal Blitz is actually going to meet a fiery end here, because I'm pretty sure 57mm. Yeah, he's got a oh no, he's got a blind spot. That single tree right there. That is totally quite unfortunate for him.
Gonna be good for ONeill as he can get some recon infantry up. I guess he's gonna spot them with recon infantry, and the flank villain's gonna do all the talking.
And you know what? That's probably a good call at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I actually also kind of got very confused when I was looking at the incomes again. I completely forgot the days of this is your income and you're gonna like it that way.
Yeah, it's completely fixed. You have no choice in the matter.
But that was kind of freeing though. Like, you know, there were the early days of SD2. It's like, what the heck am I gonna pick for income here? And now it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh yay. But that 60mm stovepipe, he's starting to run a little bit low on HE ammo, and I'm looking back at the German side. Yeah, the ONeill isn't doing much better.
Yeah, he's trying to pound array, but I mean, ONeill is holding like what he has left in the town pretty decently. I mean, Harry Spider has not as many units in here anymore, it seems, taking some casualties. I think it's more focused up north. And up north, plus is actually going pretty well. Flak Berlin has managed to push back at AB rifles, but there's more infantry he's going to have to contend with, and that's going to take him time.
Oh, that flak burn over here is actually going to do a good amount of work, and they're going to pinch off this entire set of hangars.
Oh, yeah.
Shockingly enough, if they take out these 3 squads of infantry, which that they are well poised to do, this could be a considerable territory flip just in time for Phase B.
Yeah. Yo, yeah, the 88mm is going to provide some rather close range. Okay, never mind. The AB rifles pulled back. It seems pretty tight overall. I mean, Harry Spider, he's been surrounded, but hey, he's just going to push deeper into enemy line. Very airborne way of doing things. And trying to chase down that Flak 88, which would be a very good kill if he can get out.
Certainly true. Certainly true. And I guess, you know, that was one of the things you know, also thinking back to Harry Spider when we first saw him play, that was a very, very Harry Spider-esque thing to kind of do. There wasn't this whole idea of, oh, he's attacking me, I need to defend. He was a very aggressive player. So nice to see that return to that old style there as well.
Yeah, it goes, gets the flank ATA, and that is a pretty big kill early on. And ONeill's going to respond with pretty much a platoon of infantry. And a platoon of Panzerjäger Brand.
Certainly. Well, we got the Panzerjäger Brands. I'm trying to figure out... I'm surprised the Americans have not brought in that M22. Yes, I know veterancy worked differently and officer control worked differently way back in these dark ages, but zero vehicles really being played over here from the American side, and not for nothing, I think they could have even been even more dominant in taking territory.
Yeah, I mean, those Locusts are really weird tanks, because, like, in this sort of matchup, it'd be kind of alright, because he's really only fighting against those very weakly armored carriers. But he can only really do so much. He's been doing very good with his infantry so far, though. I feel like his northern pushes, or northern fort, which he's holding, is starting to slowly get crumpled by the flak villain. I mean, the 57mm can't do anything against soft targets. So this is going... I mean, ONeill is not winning by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels like he's starting to get momentum back onto his side. And hey, there's thunder in the sky, Khan.
There certainly is, but that flak fielding should be more than enough to kind of keep him at bay. Yeah, because remember, these are the days that air power really had some issues to deal with ground fire.
Yeah.
Of course, as I say that, one gets, the gun itself gets suppressed, but I would not be particularly sanguine kind of charging into that. I would like to see this flak fielding get pushed back, because right now those AB rifles and the AB leader, they're going to easily take that bad boy out.
Yeah.
You cannot lose
like
those.
That move. The old flak villain has managed to de-stress himself, but really be able to self-defense himself. I mean, when you have 420mm cannons, I mean, that's pretty effective self-defense. I mean, I'd use that for my house if I had to.
Forgive me, I am focused on this B-26 coming in. And for some reason... Oh, jeez, this is going to be awful for them. Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Ironically, the only guy to go into a building is the only one who gets completely destroyed.
Yeah.
But looking elsewhere, for some reason I was ready for the P. Jaeger Brens to start really doing something there, but no dice.
Nope.
No dice.
Yeah, I just feel like ONeill's having a very hard time taking this town, which does make sense. 101st Airborne is a very good close quarters division, especially if you use those AB engineers effectively with flamethrowers. I mean, there's really not much you can do about him at close quarters with Luftwaffe Jaegers. So I feel like he's trying to play his northern area a bit more aggressively, which honestly makes sense. I mean, you slap down some flak 88, use studs. I mean, he can do decent at one. Show the Americans, I mean, once you get to sea phase, you do have those two-star Wolverines. Only 2 of them, mind you. But those 2-star Wolverines, seen in the past, do some pretty nasty work.
Well, the thing is, too, is if memory serves, the whole idea behind the late-game armor is that the armor is finally getting off the beaches. And I think I really kind of like the fact that it is reflected with even those DD tanks. But like I've mentioned previously, those DD tanks are more than enough to handle anything that the Germans are going to have here. I mean, yes, 57% right now, 57-43. He's about 60% of the way there towards a win. But there's a piece of me that can't help but wonder, is hairyspider starting to run out of steam? Does he have any more silk kind of hanging around in those spinnerets of his, or is ONeill going to start pulling the legs off this spider?
That's a good point. 101st usually does have attrition issues, especially once we get later on into C phase, of course. And ONeill, he still has a good 5.5 minutes or so of B phase to exploit his massive point advantage, which he is going to have. Once C phase hits, he doesn't have that point advantage anymore. So I feel like Gao just really needs to bite and hold. Like, bite right now in B, and then hold for the love of God in C phase. And he's doing that now. He's starting to riddle ray the American infantry. His northern push is slow, but steady. If he can knock out literally 2 guys up north, he would a huge roll plan.
Well, here's the biggest issue. We have Command Stewart coming in, and those Stewarts in SD44 were beastly.
Yep, 3 machine guns and at close range are pretty scary. Yo, he's bringing them into the north, and that's not gonna work as well for them. They're really more fitted for fighting around forest town.
Well, there's Maltia coming on, and I can't help but wonder if this is going to be the Flak 88 that Luftwaffe. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
The stars are aligning, not quite yet ready to kill, but getting pretty close. No, another thing I'm surprised that we didn't see. No little Richie here. The old Winters. The old Winters is not coming out to play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, nice thing about SD44 is that we actually know most of the hero unit. We're not as we're not as well read on Eastern Front aces.
Well, that was the other thing too. I remember Cheese Friends. I remember the first time Gabby showed up. I was super confused. Man, how to get incredible life, honestly.
Yeah.
Stu 42 being brought over here. That's Stu Halbitza, I believe. Whatever. I can't say it properly at the moment. Just because I'm grinning just to see it. But 57 mil moving up. Stewart is gonna be a little bit more aggressive to the north, and I can't but wonder. Oof. Idiot's gonna pound that 57 into the dirt.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the Stu is that it's on a shotgun, it does have increased range over the 57 mil. So it's going to be a very useful kit in ONeill's arsenal, because he can use that to just pick off those, really any armor piece or anti-tank piece. Yeah, to hairyspider to bring up, apart from the Wolverine, they have 2 kilometers.
But other than that, too, Stroke 3 being brought into the northern side. Ooh. Thunderbolts are back. I think Lightning is about ready to strike twice. And yeah, those mortar positions are going to get completely rocked. Oh, wow.
Oh, well, there we go. Anti-air doing its work on one of them.
Too late on the other, though.
Might kill the infantry, too? Yeah. Oh, didn't get a supply truck, yo, so he can count his blessings in that regard. But down south, like, hairyspider's making a bit of an aggressive maneuver here, so maybe rifles to infantry, it seems, trying to play at town side, which is the smart move.
But his emphasis here, his ability, has definitely fallen down quite a bit. And of course, guys, you might be wondering why the heck we're not going to be seeing any kind of crazy territory swings here. Ended up being a heck of a lot more difficult to even get +1, +2, +3. Can't tell you how many games we used to cast where it was, 51-49, and it was that way for 20 minutes at a time.
Yep.
There were days I got done with casting with you. My family was like, I remember you. I saw you a couple hours ago. Outside of that, though, like we said, if you remember the American deck here, outside of armored vehicles in Phase C, and a couple of off-maps, actually, we had a couple of 203s that could potentially be brought on in. Not a whole lot to write home about in the next 90 seconds or so. Germans, they're actually bringing some heavier weapons over here at the end of time.
Yeah, which is definitely going to help out. But the problem is there's going to be an income for ONeill in those 90 seconds or so. He is starting to flip around the northern flank a bit, but he hasn't really been fast enough, I think, for my liking to try and, turn this thing around. I don't feel like he's going to get the town at this point. hairyspider is way too dug in. And, oh, comes the Marauder. Really does not like his mortar position, man.
And there's the supply vehicle.
Yeah, very good use of air power so far from hairyspider, using them to great effect to just blow everything to hell and back.
I am surprised. Ooh, and it's always weird to see, but Thunderbolt takes out the anti-air position. Wasn't uncommon back in those days. It is surprising to see that 16th Luftwaffe has not invested in some of their own air power. I mean, we have ME-109s, we have the Henschel 129s, we have Flock of Wolves ready to go, and we've seen none of them.
Yeah, he really does need some sort of aircraft to try and chase him down, because for another 5-6 minutes or so, we're going to see another bomb and run come in, and it's get even more kills, especially as Luftwaffe as most of your stuff is really like soft vehicle, like not soft vehicles, but just soft targets in general. So you're very susceptible to getting bombed from the sky. That's where you have all the anti-aircraft guns.
But it's maybe because he's seen that Bofors in the center part of the map, he's a little bit gun-shy about that. But I'll tell you what isn't gun-shy. Pack Howitzer's going to start pounding that 88 into dust. And I don't think he sees what's going to kill him.
Cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Those 88 are, I mean, very powerful gun, but very susceptible to getting blown up from high explosive. As once again, pretty much all anti-aircraft guns take more damage from direct or ground units. While against air units, they take less damage. And suppression as well, so just a few shots and that Flak 88 is going to be very pinned.
But he's desperately trying to get rid of that, weapons jam, but they're on the command steward.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Trying to hunt him down. Now would be a time to move up that stug and get some line of sight. Yeah, hairyspider is doing enough to hold onto his position. Yeah, actually, nah. I mean, down south he's.
Oh no, he took the entire southern part of the map.
Yeah, he's like flanking around to maybe engineers. I mean, Galileo has a pretty heavy defensive position in that forest, but just a bombing run or two and or an off-map artillery or anything, or an M20 armored car is actually all he needs, it seems, to try and spin this around. There is a Russian anti-tank gun nearby. I believe that's the 122mm. Yes, it is. Foreshadowing SD2, right? Yeah. Yeah, go. There's the bombing run.
Yep.
And there goes all the infantry.
Yep.
It's so cool seeing like kills and circumvents in this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was one of those things that I feel, since the maps are so much smaller, they felt so much more intimate too.
Yeah, you could like do those quicker maneuvers where you flank around and encircle enemy positions. So in SD2 it kind of happens, but on a grandiose scale, of course, because it's larger. It's less common for you to do it with infantry and more of like tank, crazy T-34 push.
Actually,
like crazy cheap push we've seen like a few weeks ago.
Well, I was just having shades of just Gonzo's L6 rushes.
Oh god.
Those were, for a couple of weeks, that's all anybody did. That was tons of fun to play against. Oh, man.
We got the 2-star Wolverine.
Oh, I was just watching as just down south is the 57 just dismantling this Stug.
It's no longer a Stug. Yeah, once you get into that position in the southern town where you just hold that forest area, you pretty much secure it. As you can just shoot the supply lines coming through it.
Indeed. Now, what's he going to be engaging? He doesn't see the Stug yet, does he? Okay, I was going to say there's no way in heck he saw the Stug. But, hey, Fusilier's a good enough target in the first place, too, so not too shabby there.
No, kind of Fusilier for much longer.
No, now he's just more of like, he's fuseled, really. They fuseled up the backside there in a moment. I'm also surprised that this 57mm isn't trying to engage. I guess he's just barely out of range of that Stug.
Yeah.
How about the Dralig? Drillig, rather. Dralig is the guy from Star Wars. No, he could hit the Drillig. Can't he? He's on the... Oh, no, jeez, okay. And M20, by the way, has completed its mad dash through the front lines. Very soon, I imagine we'll see him start to engage, the howitzer. And the howitzer is also getting pounded by the pack howitzer in the other direction, so...
It's gonna pin him down just in the nick of time to save his ass, and... Yeah, it's just been very good aggressive maneuvering from Spider in total.
Indeed.
Like, yeah, just looking at the map, it's much less red, it's blue. There's a lot of Americans still on the field. This is pretty much, the ideal 101st scenario where you manage to get through A and B phase and still have the majority of your troops alive, because not as replaceable compared to other division.
Certainly seems to be the case. I'm sorry, I was watched up to the north. I expected to see a Gammon bomb come out from those Pathfinders. But, nope, no Gams out there today.
Nope. you want to take us through ×2?
Absolutely. At 2020. Okay.
Okay.
And ×2. So yes, it is a +2 over here. ONeill definitely rocked back on his heels, but one of the biggest things about his division just never saw the light of day. And oh, there we go. Speak of the devil, and ye shall appear. But the AB rifles get taken out. I mean, that's what 3 or 4% of the map is going to come back under his control.
Yeah.
That should have been happening a lot sooner.
Yeah, I just felt like he was doing like pretty good in B phase, but he just couldn't make enough progress fast enough, and hairyspider just held until he was relieved. And relieved by aircraft, because by God, it was just the Thunderbolts and Marauders have been doing God's work. Hairyspider side.
You know, I don't think we're going to see it in this particular week of replays, but I'm finding myself really wishing we could see the old Death Star again. I want to see my little dustbin launcher.
Oh, the Avra.
The Avra was just so freaking good way back when.
Oh, yeah. It's a shame it's not as good in SC2. I mean, it's very hard to get into range SC2 now.
Oh yeah, well I mean, for good reason. I think a lot of people were crying foul about the Avra being just that super quick call-in. But regardless, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a nice little wrap-up over here for hairyspider, only giving up 9 tickets overall, taking that early lead and just refusing to let it go. So really, really well done for him there.
Yeah.
And a TOT barrage, which is never going to come in. But there we go. There we go. Yeah, and that KD.
It's like pretty crazy on kills, but I think a lot of that was towards the end, to be fair, because he just completely wiped everything that ONeill had.
I don't know. Brady got a huge. That certainly is a Brady bunch. I will say that.
Oh crap, moly! That's very impressive for a single guy.
I mean, yeah, he took out more units than the Marauder did, and the Marauder hit 3 or 4 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Stewart 5 kills. No. Yeah, this is Stewart. Got the 5 kills. Other than that, I mean, Flak Fearling, one of the deadliest guys over here, but you can kind of tell just by where the trading was and the tail of the tape, too. Jeez.
Yeah.
First 5 minutes, we had 2 American units, and other than that, everything from... Actually, no, not even. First 10 minutes. By the 10th minute, hairyspider had lost 3 units, and ONeill had just been abused. So the poor guy just got kicked in the teeth and just couldn't get up off that initial hit.
Yeah, it did feel like Gao was making pretty good progress in B phase. It didn't feel like, even though like the points seemed like it was a complete stomp, and arguably it kind of is. Gao was like, he almost got it back to like, or for a brief period of time he got it to like 52-48 for his side, but he just, hold on to that ground which he captured for very long.
But you know what? That happens sometimes. I mean, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. Like it's a rough thing. But honestly, Carpiquet, I'm. It's like seeing an old friend, man. So it's really great to be seeing SD44 maps yet again.
It's a cool map.
It is. It is. And folks, we hope you guys out there kind of agree with us as well, because we're going to bring you another one of these tournament maps over here on Thursday. I think moving away from airborne and go something a little bit more mechanized, I think, right?
Indeed.
All right. Well, folks, in that case, then you better come back out, take a quick look to see who's fighting. Until then, though, I'm Connell Work.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.